Hi there. In this video, I'm going to be talking about tables formatting in classes for Cognos Report Studio. This video here is to show you how to format a table like what you see here for year, product type, and product. So the table looks nice and clean, spacing and maybe a background color. It is a prequel, or this video is a prequel to learning how to use prompt pages and filters. So it may not look 100% yet, but it's really more for learning how to use tables and getting the format to look proper. And as well, another type of filter is a filter you can have on your report itself. But again, I just wanted to show you how to make something that would look like this for when you are doing that filtering, so it'll look nice and clean. So to get started, we'll aim towards building tables that look like this and have the gray background and a border around it with proper spacing to the left and right of the text. For now, we can ignore the bottom portion. So to get started, we have this crosstab here, and what I wanted to start with is building a table on the prompt page. So to do that, we come in and we drag in a new prompt page. And as soon as we do this, Cognos is going to display this initial page with a cancel and with at least a cancel and a finish button. So to show you that, if I click run now, it comes up with a blank page with a finish button. If I hit finish, it will bring us to our report. So to get started, to edit that blank page, we come in here, and what I want to show you is basically how to use a table and insert it. So we drag in the table object from the toolbox, and let's just give it a 10 rows and 10 columns. And I want to take off maximize width so it doesn't span the entire page. So I place that, and now we can see we have a table here with 10 columns and 10 rows. And I want to mimic this, oops, not that one, I want to mimic this format here. So these three objects are just text boxes in there, so I'll drag in 3 text items. Actually, I'll just drag in one, and I'll call it year. And I can drag in another item and another item, do that many times. Or I can click and drag, and if I press the control key on my keyboard, there's a plus key, or a plus symbol on the cursor. If I were to drag, that's basically a copy. I can also press control C on the keyboard, and then control V to paste. So there's a bunch of different ways. Now we'll double click the year. You can see the cursors to the left of the Y. Press shift and to the right to select it all. And then I can type in product type. And I'll double click on year. Oops, double click on year. And I can type in product. Depending on where you click, you get those different options. There, so now we have our basic table, but there's no formatting around it, so it's not spaced out very well. And if I were to place another item, some other object, then we can see that it's not being spaced out nicely. So what I want to show you is how to use formatting in classes mainly to give us a nice look to our page. So if we go back to this product page, we can see that this crosstab has different colors and there's some padding or spacing between the lines. So one thing to learn here is how to use the class feature. So a class is basically a set of rules on how to make an object look. So here, if we scroll down to the properties of this crosstab node member, we can see it has a class of crosstab member cell. If I click on this object here, this cell, it's got the same thing, but this one here in the middle is going to have a different kind of class because it looks different. Actually, it doesn't have any class, it's just blank. If we click on this corner cell, it has a certain type of formatting placed to it. So we can use that to our advantage, and we can basically copy or mimic other objects by using that information. So here, oops, I'm just trying to get something set up to show you. If I have another list here, you can see the bottom cells have a class of a list column body measure cell, and the top has a list column title cell. So if you want something to look like this top cell, then just remember that name, list column title cell, and then list column body cell. So I'm going to use those two classes in my prompt page table here. So for this cell here, you can see that I've selected the table cell because it is shown here in the ancestor. If I were to click right on the text, see now it says text item. That's not what I want to format. I want to format the cell. So make sure that you have the cell. Now we can go in and change that class to be list. We don't want the body, we want the title. List column title cell. We select that over to the right. If we click apply, now we can already see that it has some formatting applied to it. So we click the OK button. Now I don't want it centered, so I can quickly fix that by left justifying it. And I'll show you another trick. If I want other cells to have the same formatting, this feature here is pickup style. So it's basically copying the formatting of that cell. And now I can select the two cells, and I can paste the formatting or apply that style to those same cells. Okay. So now if I run the report, you can see that everything is nicely spaced within that cell. But the hello cell, that doesn't have any formatting, so there's no rules in there to say that it needs to have a bit of space before the line. So if we go back and we say that these three cells, they need to be a list column body cell, now it'll have some rules applied to it, such as faint border around it. Also put some padding to the left and right, and maybe to the top and bottom, I forget. So that's some basic formatting tips to help you make things look nice and consistent. If you only have one prompt page, there's no sense in showing this back and next button, and you can drag it up to closer to where the options are, or the criteria. I like to center it. And then now if we hit the run button, see that all of the blank rows in the table are all condensed because there's no data in there. It's not showing, nothing to put in them, so it condenses them to a very small amount. So if you wanted to put more of a space in there, one trick that you can do, copy a text item or place a text item into an area, but just put spaces in there. So I'm going to delete that and leave spaces. So here you can see there's a bunch of spaces in there. And now you can see this gray box here. It does have some space to it. So if I were to click and drag, now you can see that object is there. If I click and drag, now it's down at the bottom cell and there's nothing up here. So now what that's going to do is leave a space between this gray area and this cancel and finish button. So that's another nice trick. Now if we want, I'd like to place another similar table onto this page. Just going to get rid of that. So I'm basically just showing you one more time how to do it, but in this, instead of this time having many rows, I'm just going to have one and many columns. I'm going to put 10 and 10. because I haven't figured out how many exactly I want just yet. And this time I'm going to put year in the first cell. And this is more of a placeholder for a feature I wanted to show you later. Equals. And then here, this is going to be our drop-down box for what year we want to filter on. But for now, I'm just going to write some text in there just to have something to show. And then product type. And something, I want one more space in there. Oh yeah, and a placeholder for this drop-down box. Sheesh. Having a hard time. Okay, so again, if we run that, we'll see the prompt page, and that's the way we want it. And then our report page, again, see there's no spacing or anything, so it looks kind of ugly. So we want, and again, we want to select the entire cell, not just the text item. I want these three to display with a gray background, with that class of a list, and page down, or arrow twice, the title cell. And I'm going to left justify them all. I'm going to copy that formatting because I also want this to be that same formatting. I want something, something, and something to be a list style and body, list column body cell. Click OK. Click Run. See how it looks. So this looks pretty good, except I want some spacing between this something and the product box, just to make it look, in my mind, a little bit better. So what I like to do is, select that column, select these, and I want 15 pixels. And you can adjust that spacing to whatever you want, of course. And there, so that looks decent for me. So that's a bit about formatting tables and classes. Hope you enjoy it. And next I'll talk about prompt pages, filters, and kind of an interactive filter that appears on the prompt page.